Hi. So I'm at the park right now with my dog. I've had her since I was about 13, 14, 15, something like that. I don't exactly remember. She's about 12, 13 now, I think. She's moved with me from St. Louis to New Orleans to Philadelphia now. She's a great dog. She's pretty chill. I enjoy her. But I wanted to kind of do a check-in video real quick. Kind of a day at the park video. Not sure what I'm going to talk about because I've been thinking about a lot of stuff. Just thinking about why I want to make videos, thinking about, why we as a group wanted to make videos, why I asked the two people that I asked to do this with me. Why is it that we got 3 black trans folks from St. Louis, 2 of whom are Jewish, and I'm from St. Louis. Why am I saying I'm living in Philadelphia? What's important to me, what motivates me, the role of Judaism and faith in terms of racial identity and gender identity, general gender stuff, right? Like, as I was walking up here, I was thinking about, like top surgery is something that I've been thinking more about, something that I want, but kind of thinking about it in the context of the, my gender-based journey is definitely not something that I wanted before I started testosterone. And so kind of the evolution of the way I think about my body, the way I think about myself, and what are the things that I want for myself, have definitely been some things that I've been thinking about. So I guess I'll just say part of my motivation for wanting to do this video series, wanted to have my 2 brothers, KB and Elon, do it with me, was I wanted to capture a counter narrative. I feel like a lot of work, a lot of the narrative has been positioned around whiteness, and I think in a lot of ways it creates a narrative that isn't true for a lot of us. It creates a narrative that I don't think always captures the complexities of our lives, and I don't think it's representative of me. And I found that definitely to be true in the last couple of weeks. As I said, we're all from St. Louis, and so kind of what's happening in Ferguson over the past couple of weeks with the the murder of an unarmed young man by the name of Mike Brown. If you didn't know, by a white police officer. I shaken us up in a way that I hope can be a powerful opportunity for us really to start making changes all across this country. But for me, it was definitely a feeling of where these communities that as an adult I've joined and I've found my space especially in terms of queer communities in St. Louis. I grew up in St. Louis. I lived there all my life until I moved away a couple years ago. The first school I ever went to was in Ferguson. I went to the Ferguson Florissant School District for a long time up until about late middle school, although I went to some other places in between. I moved a lot. But so to have grown up in St. Louis and have grown up in St. Louis as a black poor kid, it hit me all of a sudden like the divides that happen among us when our leadership still is focused on whiteness. In a lot of the ways, the maintenance of whiteness and inclusion that comes from people who, for every other reason, have been included in things except for their queer identity a lot of times. Now, I'm not saying that's across the board. I'm not saying there's not intersectionality as well for white folks. I'm not saying that white folks don't experience poverty. I'm not saying that white folks do not have disabilities. I'm not saying that white folks don't experience all types of other things. What I'm saying, though, is that there's a dominant narrative around normativity and around whiteness that has predominated in queer spaces all across this country, but specifically, I think, in St. Louis, particularly in terms of trans organizing, has become very much a project of white trans masculinity and normative and binary at that. And so really wanted to create a space to talk about the things that are left out of conversations when we don't step up to create our own counter narratives. I hear a lot about, well, we don't have this and we don't have this. And it's true, we don't. And the system wasn't made for us to have those things. And so I think it's time for us to start creating a space we want to see. Not just being a change. We got to create the space. We got to fight for it when we got to fight for it. We got to make sure that we've done our part. In Judaism, there's a concept of olam haba, which means the world to come, or the world as it should be. It basically means that we are called into action, and partners a community. If you believe in a God figure, partners with Hashem, with God, to create that which is not present. That the energy is already here, the capacity is here, the potential is here. It's up to us to actually step up and do the work. And so this Nebro Tint and the videos are really just kind of a small part of doing the work. They're by no means all of it. They're by no means perfectly representative of black masculinity or black trans masculinity or St. Louis or any other thing. But they're definitely a piece of it that we wanted to share. So thank you.